I call to order this Whitman Housing Authority meeting, November 13th, 2023. This is Patricia McKay, filling in for Chairwoman Catherine Kelleher, who's excused this evening. Roll call. Michelle?
Here.
Teresa?
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's here with the exception of Ms. Kelleher. Board review and vote on the minutes of the regular board meeting held on October 12th, 2023. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to accept the board review, the minutes of the regular board meeting from October 12th?
I'll make a motion to accept the board meeting of October 12th.
I'll second the motion. We accept the minutes from the last month's meeting.
First by Bob McPhail and seconded by Teresa Linsky. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have financial reports A, B, C, and D, which would be October 2023 vouchers, September 2023 bank balances, and September 2023 financial statements, and the last, D, operating statements, QE, that would be quarter ending September 30th, 2023.
I'll make a motion that we accept the finance report A, B, C, and D.
The second motion.
Okay, and that's, Bob would be the first, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, motioned by Bob McPhail and seconded by Michelle Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 5 on our agenda here, board vote to approve a revision to the FY 2024 capital improvement plan to include the replacement of an ADA ramp. Funding would be provided by the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities using ADA set-aside funds.
So this would be to replace a ramp at the Stetson Terrace property. It would be if the person whose unit it would go to was to transfer, we have someone else who could move into that unit and also continue to use that ramp.
I got a question on that. That ramp, it's not under warranty.
It was under warranty, Bob, but the company went out of business.
Story of our life, right?
Of course.
So it's 100% funded by the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities?
That's if they approve it, yes.
Excellent.
Now the ramp that we got, it's coming off. Will we be saving that for maybe down the road spare parts or something?
We've
I know it's hard to store it, so.
I know. I'm not sure how much room the guys have. I could definitely talk to John and find out if he thinks that, we should hold on to part of it. We might have room at another property to store it.
Yeah, if it was a lot older, I wouldn't even be concerned, but it's not really that
No,
old.
it's not. It isn't. And I did go to that company about, a year ago. Not for maybe 2 years ago, and they did come out and they did fix something, and then of course I tried them again and they are no longer in service. They went out of business, and so I found, we had worked with AmRamp in the past and we're happy with AmRamp, so I did call out a representative. The price is pretty much what it was probably the last time the ramp was, the old ramp was installed. Mm-hmm. And so, as I said, I do have someone else that would transfer into that unit if that person in the unit right now was to move to a fully ADA unit.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't have any available at this time. Otherwise, that, you know, they would be transferred to Harvard Court or Pine Circle.
Right.
Okay.
So the existing ramp is still workable?
It's not, so we do have to replace it.
Oh.
Part of it probably is, the lower part of it probably
Okay.
is, but it is starting to kind of buckle in.
Mm.
John's done some repairs, but he's not comfortable with putting liability on the housing authority for trying to fix something that, you know,
Right.
he is not an expert at.
Mhm.
So I really feel like at this point we don't have much of a choice. And that's why I feel that DHCD or EOHLC, you know, that I would submit a capital improvement plan revision to include this and to have the state pay for it.
Mhm.
So this goes on the entrance stairs that gets up to his
Yes.
unit?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to revise the 2024 capital improvement plan for the ADA ramp with all the funds coming from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities?
I'll make a motion that we accept the ADA ramp project.
Usually everybody says that. I second the motion.
Okay, motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
Second by Michelle.
Second by Michelle Frazier. Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, I'm a rookie. Board discussion regarding notice to retire given by the tenant coordinator. The executive director requests permission to increase the current weekly hours from 30 hours to 37.5 hours. Oh,
So that position had previously been a 37.5 hour work week prior to me even starting working at the housing authority. The bookkeeper's position was the 30-hour week. At that time, the bookkeeper asked if her hours could be increased when someone new came into that position. That person was supposed to take part of the load off of that position. I mean, since I started, the jobs have increased so much, you know, for what we have to do. And I think, you know, you've been, Patty, you've been on the board long enough to know all the changes that they keep throwing at us and more work. So I did talk to Steve, the accountant, and he said, you know, absolutely, Harvard Court can afford to pay the additional 7.5 hours. So we wouldn't have to change the state budget at all. We'd leave it as is. And the additional 7.5 hours would be towards Harvard Court. Harvard Court is the majority of the work because their paperwork, their packet's this thick.
Yeah.
The paperwork is crazy with the federal side of things. So he said definitely we could afford it. We would not have to revise the state budget because it would remain the same. So it's up to you. Like I said, the job has, in every single one of our jobs has increased.
I'm sure.
At least double over the past, I would say, 5 to 10 years for sure.
Okay.
How is that going to affect their research there at the first of the year?
So Betty will, so if we get the extra 7.5 hours, that would be included. We could look at the full fiscal year. So Betty would be there to train, definitely. She's supposed to leave the end of December, but she would be there for training purposes and to assist if they're not able to if the new person's not able to keep up with them. We are only given, we have to give, I think they all have to be done by March 1st. So they're not usually due till the end of January. So you get like the month of February to get all these research done, which is insane because there's 80 of them.
Right.
And it's so much more paperwork, so much more. So no, she said she would not leave us high and dry. She would assist us, assist the new person. I'm going to start working on trying to put together the ad and get that in the paper. We have the AUP on Wednesday. It's been one thing after another, so it's been difficult to keep up, all of us, with our work. But she will not leave us high and dry by any means.
I had the feeling she wouldn't, but it was just a question that, it kind of scared me when I heard the first of the year.
Oh yeah, I was definitely scared too, Bob.
I can't believe it.
Probably more than you.
Okay, we'll bail out, hopefully.
It'll work itself out. I'm sure she's a great trainer too. So do I hear a motion to increase the tenant coordinator's position from 30 hours to 37 and a half hours?
I'll make a motion that we increase the tenant coordinator position from 30 to 37 and a half hours. Second.
And that was motioned by Teresa and seconded by Michelle. And all in favor?
So also, just to let you know, the 30 hours was considered part-time, but eligible for all benefits. So that wouldn't change at 37 and a half hours. It would be just as it is right now.
Okay. Now we have public housing notices to look at. Board vote to accept public housing notices 2023-18, 2023-19, and 2023-20. What page are we on, please?
45
45, you say?
up on the top.
Thank you.
All right, so I am going to go directly to the director's report because I did a synopsis of what all of them mean. So, Public Housing Notice 2023-18, Notice of Funding Availability for Resident Service Coordinators. The Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities is expanding awards for the resident service coordinators to support the stability and well-being of residents in state-aided public housing. Fiscal year 2024 General Appropriations Act includes an additional $1.5 million in funding for resident service coordinators, of which local housing authorities can apply for a grant. EOHLC will make these awards for a 5-year term beginning in fiscal year 24 through fiscal year 28. At this time, I had given out a packet to people that are present at the meeting. Bob, tomorrow I will have Kerry drop off a copy to you, and I will drop off a copy to Kathy on my way home. There is a new program. It's not this particular one. It's very similar. It is working with Old Colony Elder Services. They would provide all sorts of services to the Housing Authority. So you can read on that paperwork exactly what they would do. Similar to this, we wouldn't have to apply for a grant. I just have to send a letter of intent and something else. But we will discuss it at a different meeting. But while I was talking about that particular public housing notice, something is being offered to us that is significant, and it is similar to this, but probably provides more than the one in Public Housing Notice 2023-18. So 2023-19, Public Housing Innovations 2024 Notice of Funding Availability. The Innovations Program provides for awards that fund rehabilitation and redevelopment of public housing using methods which include mixed income redevelopment, market rate production, alternate funding sources, and new management of capital structures, potentially including affordable housing production or conversion to federal public housing. The goal of the program is to develop and promote innovative and cost-effective means to modernize public housing and preserving it for long-term while producing net new housing units and reducing or eliminating the need for future state capital or operating subsidies for the development. This notice establishes this program as an annual recurring funding award subject to availability. This will allow local housing authorities to plan for redevelopment projects more effectively and to assist EOHLC build a sustained pipeline of projects. So this could include and does include converting our estate properties to federal, which is what Harvard Court is. We would receive subsidy up to the amount of probably the same as we get here, $1,800 a unit. It's not something that I feel that I could take on at this point. We've got too many changes going on. As the public housing notice says, this funding will be recurring, and will give housing authorities time to actually plan for this. So at some point, maybe it's definitely worth looking into. But for right now, I don't feel that I have the capacity with myself or staff to take something like this on. And it's so new that I don't want to be the guinea pig, to be truthful.
Now, does this include new construction?
Not really. They
Okay.
wanna make more units, but they're trying to do it differently. Like some of our scattered sites that I had looked into trying to do a program where I would sell the 2-family and the 3-family, take that money, and then I would get an additional, I don't know if it was $250,000 per unit, and then we would actually see if we could get someone to build maybe 5. You could only replace the number that you were getting rid of, that you were selling. So 5 family units to 5 townhouses or something like that. So
And have it become federal?
that could still stay state.
Okay.
But it's brand new. Everything's new. So what they're trying to do is they're looking in the future at all the capital improvements that a lot of our properties need throughout the state. A lot of the properties are getting older and older, and they're starting to fall apart. So HUD is really good about jumping in and taking over the property or becoming, converting to federal. I went to a training, if it was last week or the week before, and I can't remember which city it was, big city. They have converted all but I think 24 units to federal. So they don't have a lot to do with DHCD or EOHLC anymore either. They're pretty much all federal. So I think the state is looking for us to try to go different routes to get our properties turned around so that they will last a lot longer. If we have, if HUD was to come in, they might do, $2 million worth of work at a property, and then we would become federal. So it to me, it's a little bit too new. I don't want to be the guinea pig, but I mean, it is something that's going to continue. The funding's going to continue. It's going to give housing authorities enough time to plan for something like this.
Mhm.
So definitely something that I would be interested in, just not right now. It would be a lot of work to do right now.
Mhm.
Will they fund some improvements, like say the units had to be retiled in the kitchens or?
Yeah, so they probably would be doing like a full redevelopment. So they might be like totally doing all brand new kitchens, brand new baths, things like that.
Okay.
They probably really do a full so that everything is the same age. Probably new flooring, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It is new.
So then on public housing notice number 2023-20, request for information, pre-qualification of accounting firms to conduct agreed upon procedure audits. EOHLC has issued a request for information to identify and pre-qualify accounting firms with auditing experience for the agreed upon procedures program. So they're just looking for new, more and new companies to perform the agreed upon procedures audit.
Okay.
But we have a contract with the accountant now, right?
Well, that's Steve. So Steve is not, he doesn't do the AUP audit. So I have the AUP audit on Wednesday with Tom Flaherty.
Okay.
So I think we're at year 5 with him, so we have to switch after, you can only stay with them for 5 years. Then I could switch to someone for 1 year and then go back to him if that's what I wanted to do, but you can't continually have them. So I don't know whether there's some that are backing out of it. And so now DHCD or EOHLC is looking for more accountants to do AUP audits. They are also talking about not doing them annually for housing authorities that have no findings, for doing it maybe every 2 years, which I'm hopeful
Oh,
that
that'd be
Yeah.
good.
they
That'd be
leave us
good.
alone.
It's a lot of work.
It is. It definitely is. It's a lot of work to prepare for them.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the public housing notices 2023-18, 2023-19, and 2023-20?
I'll make a motion that we accept the public housing notices, number 18, 19, and 20.
I'll second that.
Okay, that was motioned by Teresa and seconded by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Executive Director's Report.
Okay, so our budget was approved on October 30th for the state. On October 18th, Governor Healy unveiled the Affordable Homes Act, which includes provisions for the 2023 to 2028 housing bond authorization. This includes $1.6 billion in capital funding for public housing, as well as numerous statutory and regulatory changes that positively impact local housing authorities. Some of the changes include, these are the ones that would benefit the housing authority: expansion of the regional capital assistance team, options for biennial agreed upon procedures, and an allowance for housing authorities to borrow against capital awards. Governor Healy also signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023 to extend the expiration of provisions allowing public bodies, including LHA boards, to continue holding meetings remotely without a quorum of the public body physically present at the meeting location, and to provide adequate alternative access to remote meetings through March 3rd of 2025. The minutes of the meeting shall reflect whether a member attended the meeting in person or remotely. And then in our elderly properties, we have buildings 3 and 4 at Harvard Court scheduled for November 21st. We did the inspections of sprinklers, extinguishers. We have devices that will be tested in this month. Fullerton Ave, the roof and porch removal and replacement project is currently going on. The testing of smoke and heat detectors for the families is tomorrow on Tuesday. And the boiler replacement project is underway at Pine Haven Drive. We have 5 or 6, possibly a 6th one that will be replaced, and the 4 boilers at Pine Circle that is paid for also by the Lean Energy Grant has been completed.
Refresh my memory, do we need a vote to accept the Executive Director's
Yeah.
Report?
Yep.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the Executive Director's Report?
Make a motion that we accept the executive director's report.
I'll make a motion and we accept the executive director's report.
Okay, motion by Michelle, second by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have any correspondence?
No.
We have no correspondence. Any new business? Appears no new business. Open forum, but we have no guests or tenants this evening.
So, at a training that I was at, like I said last week or the week before, it was put on by a lawyer, and he talked about open forum, that there really shouldn't be an open forum. If someone wants to come to the board meeting and wants to bring something up, in open forum, we would have to put it on the next month's agenda to discuss it. So they could say, I'd like to find out about this, or why can't we do this? They can bring it up, but we can't have any discussion about it. We can say we'll put it on the agenda for next month's board meeting. So it can't just be brought up. Even new business with any one of us that have new business that we want to talk about, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, but it needs to be on the agenda.
So even if they approached you prior to, you couldn't add it to the meeting without
I have to have.
before here.
No, they could definitely do that. Definitely. I still, I have to follow the rules with when I post it, when I send it to town hall,
Right.
when I post it. But yeah, no, they can definitely do that.
Okay.
There have been a lot of issues at other housing authorities where people will bring a work order to the meeting. They'll say, can you, my door's not working. You know what I mean? So, if anyone, if any person wants to come to the meeting and bring something up, they certainly can. There can be no discussion. We just have to say we'll put it on next month's agenda.
It sort of makes sense, because I remember going to the classes down the Cape, and I forget the lawyer's name. He was a housing lawyer, and he said that local housing authorities really shouldn't have open forum. I remember him saying that, and there was a lot of backlash, but he made some valid points.
Right, it's not on the agenda.
Yeah.
So
I thought the select board had the open forum at the beginning of their meeting.
I don't know about that.
I think I have it here.
Well, this is the way the housing authority has to do it. So if somebody wants to bring something up, you make note of it, and then it goes on the next agenda. Okay. All right, do I need any kind of a motion to clear out open forum?
Oh, they call it public forum.
Oh, they call it, yeah, it's
It's
different.
part of the open session. It's at the very beginning.
Oh. Yeah, that wouldn't apply to us. Okay, I don't have to get any motions on any of the correspondence, new business, or open forum, do I? Okay, sorry, filling in for Miss Kelleher here. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
And motion by Mr. McPhail and seconded by Miss Frazier. Adjourned.